welcome to our Stories of Hope here at the Anglican Parish of St. Paul. I'm Myron Penner. I am the rector at St. Paul's, the Anglican Parish of St. Paul in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And with me, I have a guest. And what we're going to be doing is, as part of this series of Stories of Hope, I'm going to just be calling some of our parishioners up and talking to them. Some of you who are listening right now will probably also get a call, and we'll have you on this as well. But I decided I would start with my friend John Green. So that's who you're looking at on your screen right now. And the way this is going to work is I'm going to ask everyone the same 5 questions. So John, how about you tell us who you are in just a couple sentences, because even though you're my good friend and maybe other people might know who you are, maybe not everybody does. So just tell us who you are.
Well, I'm John. I've been hanging around at St. Paul since about 2010, and I like to do what I can when I can for people in as many different ways as possible. Sometimes I overload myself, but just kind of feel that that's who I am. So
yeah, well, you've been doing an awful lot for us, John, because you are responsible actually for this very video recording right now. Because before we got started recording this, John was walking me through how to do this, and he's been great at connecting our parish to each other online and through live streaming and things like that. So thank you for that, John. How about you start by just giving us a piece of information about yourself that most people at St. Paul's wouldn't know?
Well, I talk a lot when I'm at St. Paul, so I'm not sure if there's anything that people there wouldn't know, but I was for years a technology guy. I did computer networking for years, and that's actually about 2 careers ago. So in the time of COVID, so to speak, I've actually had to drastically and radically learn all the new stuff. But that history that I have has been very helpful and very useful. So
awesome. And just maybe as part of this intro part, and we'll call this the first question still, how are you doing in this? You mentioned the time of COVID. That's what we're all working our way through right now. How about you give us an update? What are you doing? How are you doing?
Well, I've been working in my day job. We were transferred home on March 13th. And that was under the instruction that we'd probably be back the next day. And it's been over 2 months now. And we were told last week we won't be back in the offices until September at the earliest. So we're knuckled right in for the duration. And the first 2 weeks were very challenging to kind of get used to.
Can I cut you off there? Maybe
yeah.
Some of us might not know what it is that you do. So how about you just let us know that too?
I'm basically a financial advisor. I help people with investments. So the economic impacts of COVID is very much a part of my day job and talking to people. So the conversations are very challenging, and having to have those conversations at home in a new work environment, get used to that has been a big challenge. And a lot of the first 2 weeks was just figuring out how to do it and discovering the psychological difficulties of, being alone and doing a job that you're used to sitting with people and just being able to, shout out your door at somebody or just run down the hall and talk to them. That was the pretty immediate effect, is how to cope with those challenges. And what I found is that I was better off if I was busier with other things, just to interrupt the day and break up the day. So that's where I've kind of dug into my technology past. And as I ran into things on how to stay connected for the job, and was discovering and learning new things there, just try to apply them wherever I can to help as many people as I can, even aside from clients that I work with every day.
Good. Okay, second question here. Is there anything new or unusual that you've taken up during the pandemic restrictions. All of us have been at home. We see stories on the internet of people picking up new and unusual hobbies and stuff like that. So I'm not talking about work, just something different that you do. I can tell you right now that Jody has taken up cooking sourdough bread, and I am the huge benefactor of that. I receive the benefits of that. Is there anything like that that you've been doing? Gardening?
Yeah, and it's really weird. Ironing bed sheets.
That is weird, John.
I find ironing bed sheets therapeutic, and
Wow.
I did not
Wow.
know that.
So folks, did you hear that?
this.
If any of you are wondering how you can de-stress, John is telling you ironing
That's
bed
one of
sheets
them.
is a great way to do that.
Yeah, and then now, of course, that led to how to fold a fitted sheet, right? Which led me to Google the YouTube video of how to fold a fitted sheet that has 21 million views and the most hilarious comment stream you would ever imagine. So,
that's good. That's definitely good. How about another question? These are stories of hope, so we're trying to be positive in all this. What is the biggest positive that you can take or are taking away from this time, or that you're experiencing here?
I think discovering yet again that we all have more capability than we even think we do. I've always been the type of person that pushes myself into things, learning new things and new capabilities, and not in an intellectual go to school sense, but a figure it out, school of hard knocks kind of thing.
Right.
And even in the hard times and the difficulties of my life, even before COVID, it is very hard to push yourself at a time when you're very confused and stressed. But the distraction of pushing myself in that way and learning new things and figuring things out has also been very therapeutic. And I just, the only end to the capabilities that I've found so far are when I'm kind of ticking other people off and they don't, they just don't want to go as fast as I want to go. So,
yeah, for sure.
That's the hardest part. But
how can we at St. Paul's and the folks at home pray for you in this time?
Well, I think most of the folks at St. Paul's know that I carry the grief of having lost my daughter some years ago, and there's a lot of similarities in being stuck at home and at times just not able to function without really pushing. So there's times that comes in my life even before COVID, and
right.
COVID is bringing a real concentration on that. And there's similarities in the grief and the difficulties and that I talk to with people every day. And so, if someone was willing to pray for us, I'd say just give us the strength and give us, continued and ongoing healing and through our grief and through that walk.
Cool. Yeah, well, you can be guaranteed that we will be praying for you in that way. How about any kind of message? Is there anything you want to say to people? I know you're communicating with a lot of people in the parish and on vestry and stuff like that, but is there anything you'd like to just say?
I don't know if everyone's the same as me, but I think there's probably a percentage that would find that there is distraction for themselves in pushing themselves a little farther and a little more into things. And with gentleness and respect as best you can. I think everybody's got to be involved in this COVID war or battle or whatever we're talking about it. And I think people will end up more satisfied at the outcome if they know they participated, even in some little way, shape, or form. So, find some way to be involved. And if you're that type of person, there's plenty of opportunity. Lots of people, looking for help or looking for ideas or, Just whatever your gift is, bring it to the battle.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, John, for taking the time to do this. You've helped us out in so many different ways, and yet this is another way. I want to thank all of you for joining us for this little episode of Stories of Hope. And tune in, because we're going to keep doing this, and watch for your inbox, or even your phone, because I might be calling you to see if I can do this with you too. So thanks, John, for being our first sacrificial victim. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're signing off.